everyone, Chris here, and welcome to my channel. And as you can see by the setup, it's time to play. Phase 10 chooses my TBR. I apologize for the less than stellar lighting. We have been going through a massive heat wave, and there were exactly two cool days, and I had so much that I needed to do on them, and this is the first chance I've gotten to sit down and film. And we're heading into another heat wave, so I figured it was better to film it when I wasn't going to broil than it was to wait and hope that it got cool enough that I might be able to sneak in a filming before the end of July. It is currently July 26th for my TBR. I have River Secrets I need to read, The Story Web, The Weather Machine. I think that's it. I feel like there might be one other that I need to read, but I remember looking at it last night and feeling pretty confident, so hopefully I won't have to film any punishments. If I do, you will see future me popping in at the end with the punishment draws. I have a little helper. I don't know if you're going to be able to see her for most of the video, or if you can even see her now. Here she is. This is Blitzy. She's hanging out in the back of my chair, so you might see her from time to time. Hopefully she'll just stay there. Before we get into the game, I wanted to let you know my other reading plans in the month of August. First, I will be taking part in Readathon, which is hosted by Jade from Jade Reads. There is a prompt board, but there's no pressure to do the prompt board. It is basically just about seeing how many fish you can catch, because for every 100 pages you read, you catch a fish. Jade is also doing a fundraiser, I believe, to help save the polar bears, so I will link the donation page she has in the description below if you'd like to check it out and maybe donate to a good cause. Feel no obligation. I just wanted to put it there in case you wanted to check it out. Her announcement video will also be linked in the description below if you'd like more information. The second readathon I will be doing is the, I believe, third round of the Final Book Support Group, which is hosted by Steph from Steph Loves. This is all about continuing and finishing series. I don't know exactly what I'm going to read that weekend, which I believe is the first weekend in August. 6th and 7th, maybe? I believe it's the 6th and 7th. If not, I'll pop the correct dates up on the screen here. And the book I'm going to be focused on for sure is Magnus Chase and the Gods of Asgard, The Ship of the Dead, which is the third and final book in this trilogy. It was the obvious choice. I wanted to continue on with the series, so I figured that was a good weekend to finish it out. I'm sure I'll be able to get to more than that. I don't know what else I'll read, but it will definitely be completely focused on series, and you will get a separate vlog for that. And then the third readathon I am taking part in is Ping Pongathon, which is hosted by Krystal from Bomb Book Review. I will link her channel in the announcement video below. Krystal plays a version of like beer pong every month to help her choose her prompts. That's her TBR game. It's fantastic. If you haven't checked out Krystal and her channel, I would highly recommend it. And she's adapted it so that you can play at home. I will be releasing a different video for my TBR for that because I didn't want this video to be too long, and I kind of like having separate TBR videos because then I can just reference them and it's easier to find all the information. And if you only want to see my Ping Pongathon TBR, then you only need to watch that video. And if you only want to see my Phase 10 TBR, then you only need to watch this one. I kind of like having that separation. And then Keep Her Along, which is hosted by Pris from Pris Peruses, is starting up again, and we will be reading Flashback, which is the 7th book in the series. I'm excited to dive back into this series and see what Sophie and co get up to next in the build to the new book. We're getting pretty close now. Very exciting. The other thing I have to mention is that I'm still completing Readathon and its item or object in the title. And for this, I'll be reading, I think it's called A Boy with the Buttons. I'll pop a picture up here. It is book 6.5 in the Enola Holmes series, which I'm doing as a buddy read with Naomi from Naomi's Bookshelf, whose channel I will link below. We're also going to be reading, I believe, the 7th book, which is Enola Holmes and the Black Barrote. So I'm hoping to get both of those on my TBR, if at all possible. Either way, I'm looking forward to diving back into that series. That being said, I think all of the books that are already on my TBR for read-alongs, readathons, buddy reads, I've mentioned. So now I can get into my series. I'm going to continue with my nonfiction. So first up, the nonfiction, I'm going to be reading The Untold Lives of the Women Killed by Jack the Ripper. This sounded really interesting, and I'm very curious to see how the story is told and to learn more about the victims of Jack the Ripper, because I think their names should matter more than Jack's does, and I don't know, I feel like I don't know anything about them other than the fact that they were murdered by Jack the Ripper, so I thought this would be an interesting read. Which brings me to my favorite part of these videos, as crazy as it sounds. I love playing my TBR game, but I also really, really love completing series, so let's see what this sucker has in store for us this month. We've cleared space on the floor for when this inevitably overflows, because it's getting quite full, even though I know there's series I've finished in here. The inevitableness of this overflowing is just a given, so I'm prepared for it. Let's go with this. Oop. Okay. We're going to pull these apart, and I'll go green. And ooh, we're going to go with that orange one, and let's go with this blue one. So many pieces of paper on the floor right now. Okay, let's see what the green one is. Okay. Myrtle Hardcastle by Elizabeth C. Bunce. The second book in the series is How to Get Away with Myrtle. This one's easy. I own the ebook of it. And in this series, we're following a young girl named Myrtle, who in the first book helps to solve a murder. And it is a historical fiction, and it's middle grade, and I really, really enjoyed it. So I'm excited to be diving back into this series. So that was a good first choice. The second one is this orange one. Man, Kingdom of Bones again. I think this is like the third time I've pulled that one out. I really need to, I don't know, leave it on top so it ends up coming out all onto the floor. I'm going to pick a random one from the floor. We'll go with this green one. And I got The Tattooist of Auschwitz. Not really what I wanted, but we'll see. My library does indeed have it. It's called Three Sisters. This is the third, and I want to say final book in the Tattooist of Auschwitz series, though I'm not 100% certain, so this will probably go back in the bin. I believe we're following 3 more people who ended up in Auschwitz during World War II. The reason I reacted that way is not because I don't think I'm going to enjoy it, because I enjoyed the first 2 books in the series. It's just I was kind of not necessarily in the mood for World War II historical fiction, but alas, what can you do? And who knows, maybe I'll pull historical fiction off of that and I'll be able to cover it. And then the final series I pulled was, oh, well, this couldn't get any more perfect. Crown of Feathers. And this one can stay out. So I was planning on reading that anyways. It's Wings of Shadow. This is the third and final book in the Crown of Feathers series. I contemplated making this my book to focus on the weekend of the final book support group, but I really struggle with book 2, and I don't want to put that kind of pressure on myself. If it takes me the entire month to read it, then so be it. But this will be my third and final series, and it is absolutely perfect because I was planning on reading it anyways, and it crossed the series off my list, so perfect pull on my part. Okay, so this gets to stay out. I'm going to leave this one out for now because I want to look into seeing if I can figure out whether it goes back in or not, whether there's going to be more books or if it says something in the description that it's like, and in the final book of Heather Morris's emotional trilogy about Auschwitz. So the rest of them will go back in, and with them, hopefully all, nope, there's another one. Hopefully I've got all of them now. With all of them back in, we can stick the lid on and put this away for another month. So with that all out of the way, it's now time to dive into Phase 10 Chooses My TBR. Really hoping it's kind to me because with Ping Pongathon, I've heard that it's created some hefty TBRs, so I would like this one to be relatively small, but I've managed that 2 months in a row, so I'm not sure it's going to hold for a third, but I guess we'll see. Draw number 1 is a yellow 12, and I'm going for a set of 4 and a run of 4, I believe. That's what it looks like, so I get to keep the 12. God, it's been so long, and I feel like my brain is still fried from whatever-thon, so I think that's what I was going for. Just because why would I have 2 12s in a run? So I believe it's a run of 4 and a set of 4, and I think I'm going to go with the 5. Not quite ready to use that skip yet. And the prompt for blue 5 is one word title. And for this, I'm going to read 12th. Let me see. By Janet Key. The sticker for the library code is on top of it. It's, I believe, a Shakespeare in the 12th Night retelling. And there's non-binary rep. And I just remember seeing, I want to say, Steph read the description out when she did her Owl Crate Jr. unboxing, and it sounded like a really good book, so I immediately went to see if my library had it, and it did. So I am very excited to get to this. I hope I love it, and I think that this is such a cool cover. I don't remember what the Owl Crate one looks like, but I really, really like this one. Purple is my favorite color, so I'm going to put this on my TBR, and hopefully I will love it. And now, draw number 2 is another 12. I don't know that I trusted this. It's being suspiciously kind to me. I'm going to go with the 11. Because again, if I finish my phase, I get to either skip a prompt or swap a prompt. And I already have a skip. So if I complete this phase, I get to skip 2 prompts this month. I'm not sure I trust this. The prompt for yellow 11 is swap a prompt. I believe this is one of those that I wish I had a note with. I believe what I do is you know what? This probably changes every time I get that prompt. Because the only one I could swap it out for. Ooh. Okay. New ruling. I don't know if this will be the way I do it next time. Is basically I get to hang on to that. It doesn't count as prompt number 2. But at some point during this, if I chose, say, like I said, 12th, and I wanted to use this for favorite color on the cover, I could then swap this to that and pick a different book for the one-word title prompt. Yeah. And I think I only get to use it for this round. I think that's my ruling. That's how I'm calling it this time. Next time, I have no idea what I will rule it as, but for now, that's how I'm using it. So let's replace that. And we'll do draw number 2, part 2, which is a 5. We're going to stick that there, because otherwise I will get confused. And red 5 is audiobook or ebook. So for this, real easy, I'm going to do How to Get Away with Murder by Elizabeth C. Bunce. I own the ebook of this. It's already on my TBR anyways, so I might as well stick it here. Draw number 3 is a yellow 3, which I'm going to stick up here because it's part of my phase, and I'm going to use the green 1. Again, going suspiciously well so far. And the prompt for green 3 is different culture. So for this, I'm going to read Ancestor-approved intertribal stories for kids. I'll pop a picture of the cover up here. According to Goodreads, it's a collection of intersecting stories set at a powwow that bursts with hope, joy, resilience, the strength of community, and Native pride. In a high school gym full of color and song, Native families from nations within the borders of the U.S. and Canada dance, sell beadwork and books, and celebrate friendship and heritage. They are the heroes of their own stories. So this is a book that has a bunch of short stories, I believe, that is all about the Native American community and, like they said, Native pride. It seems to be a middle grade book, and it's definitely a different culture. One of the contributing authors is Christine Day, who wrote a CM winner, and I Can Make This Promise, both of which I absolutely loved, which is how I found out about this book. I'm very, very excited to read this. I actually considered Three Sisters, because that would be following Jews during the Holocaust, which would be a different culture. I also considered The Castle of Tangled Magic by Sophie Anderson, because I believe her books are based on Russian folklore, and I think that folklore or myths are a part of one's culture, but I liked the sound of this one better, so this is what I will be reading for different culture. Draw number 4, and there it is, the dreaded wild that we all knew was coming. There was no way I was getting lucky 3 months in a row. Draw number 4, part 2, is a blue 9. And the prompt for Blue 9 is shortest book on my TBR. This is really easy. It's Enola Holmes and the Boy with the Buttons. It's 21 pages. I don't think we're going to get much shorter than that. This is the book I will be reading for it. It's book 6.5 in the Enola Holmes series, which is a Sherlock Holmes retelling where we follow his little sister as she solves mysteries and tries to stay one step ahead of her brothers Sherlock and Mycroft. So this is easy. I was reading it anyways for multiple reasons, and, well, it's back to being nice to me. I don't trust this. I feel like I'm getting all the wilds this month. Draw number 5 completes my TBR. Seriously, what is going on? Which means I get to skip prompt 5. Go me. Okay, which means I get to completely reset the board, minus the stuff, and I'll be back with you once that's done. Okay, as you can see, I have the board set up. I'm going for a run of 7, and I did not get a lot of help with that, because I have a 7, a 9, a 10, and a 12. I got a lot of work to do there. But I got 2 skips. There are 4 skips in the deck. This is a weird month. Okay, so let's go for draw number 6, since I just skipped draw number 5. And I get an 11. Definitely need this. I did not expect to get that so fast. I probably should have left a gap. We'll stick the 11 up there. And I'll go with the blue 12. Still going to try to save the skips because, well, I have that wild. And I don't know what I'm going to do with that. So, blue 12. Kindle Unlimited. So for Kindle Unlimited, I'm going to read A Baffling Murder at the Midsummer Ball. This is the second book in a Dizzying Heights mystery series by T.E. Kenzie. And it's like a spin-off series of the Lady Hardcastle mystery series. I'm currently reading book 1 and enjoying it. I've enjoyed all of his other work, so I'm going to go with this one for Kindle Unlimited because it was the first one that came to mind when I thought of KU. Draw number 7 is a 4. Do I need a 4? Yes. I believe at some point to complete my phase, I'm going to need a 4. Well, to run out of cards. Because we'd have 1, 2, 3, 4. Then the 8 would be 5. The 7 would be 6. And the 6 would be 7. But I still need to complete the phase. So we're going to hang on to the 4. And we'll get rid of a red 7. Ooh, I like this one. Middle grade. For this, I'm going to read The Empty City by Aaron Hunter. This is the first book in the Survivor series, and in this we're following a pack of dogs. I've read it before. I don't remember anything about it other than it involved dogs, and I put it on my series to read in 2022, and I've read none of them. So here is a good point to start with it, and hopefully I enjoy it and continue on with the series in a rather quick succession. Draw number 8 is a red 4. Not keeping that one. And the prompt for red 4 is ugly cover. So for this, I'm going to go with Enola Holmes and the Black Baroche. It's not a bad cover, but I prefer the other covers. Let me grab them. So I managed to grab books 3 and 5. So this is the third book in the series, and there is a set in the series that looks like this. And then there is a set in the series that looks like this. I'm not a huge fan of this cover either, but I like it better than her being front and center, like a big, just giant picture of her face. I really prefer these ones, which I believe are the movie tie-in ones, because I think that's why we ended up getting a new set of covers, but these are the ones I prefer. So I'm going to say this is an ugly cover because I like other versions of it. Hopefully that makes sense, and you guys agree that that counts. Draw number 9 is a 6. I'm going to need that, so I will hang on to that. And we'll get rid of the other 12. Why not? Whoops, let's not fall down. Okay, you're going to try to fall down. You're stuck to a... okay. Let's move you over here since you're trying to fall down. And green 12. The prompt for green 12 is sequel. For this, I'm going to go with Goldie Vance Volume 2. It's the second book in the series. We follow young Goldie Vance, who works at a hotel and solves mysteries. It's a graphic novel, so it's a nice, quick read. And, yeah, I mean, I probably should have used one of the series to continue, but I picked this one and I'm going to stick with it. And for the last of my regular draws, draw number 10. Oh, I knew it was too good to be true. Let's try this again. Turn number 2, part 2 is a 5, which I'm making great progress there. I'm going to take the 1 and hope that at some point I get an 8 or a 3, because I need both of those to complete my phase. So yellow 1. Under 500 ratings. Great. Okay, this took me a bit to find, but I'm going to be reading A Dog in King Arthur's Court by Audrey Mackaman. According to Goodreads, it has 63 ratings, so well under 500. In Camelot, King Arthur's dog encounters a world of danger and magic. Follow Cavall as he embarks on a quest that will put the unbreakable bond between a dog and his person to the ultimate test. When Cavall and his brother Glessic leave the comfort of their simple barn to join the lavish court of Camelot, Cavall wants nothing more than to prove he's a good dog to the great knights and dogs of the castle, especially to King Arthur. But Gless says only the best dogs are worthy of greatness, and Cavall has never been as strong, brave, or as fast as his brother. Meanwhile, malevolent forces lurk in Camelot, and Cavall must figure out how to protect his person. To make matters worse, Arthur's mysterious nightmares are threatening to shake his grip on reality and undermine his authority as king. To fight back against the dangers of his dream world, Cavall will need help from some loyal hounds and the enchanting, sometimes frightening creatures who call themselves the Fae. He will have to prove not only that he can be a good dog for his person, but that he is capable of a greatness all his own. So hopefully I enjoy this. It's got a animal POV, which is something I absolutely love, and it's a King Arthur retelling, so we'll see if I enjoy this, and maybe I can be rating number 64. Okay, so that's the end of my regular prompts. It's time to do the first wild. I've got my die here. Let's see how badly it's going to hurt me. 4. Not happy about this. Very, very not happy about this. But 4 is better than 6, and I have 2 more skips, so there is that. Slide you down here, move you over here. And wild 1, draw 1 is a 9. Not helpful. And the prompt for red 10 ran away. We'll put that back up. And the prompt for red 9 is dark cover. So for this, I'm going to use the 5, The Untold Lives of the Women Killed by Jack the Ripper. I know it's got some lightness here, but it is dark, and I think it's got more of an ominous vibe. It's a darker cover, especially when you know what the story is about, and you know that this young woman is probably about to be killed. So, yeah, I'm counting this as dark cover because, well, my game, my rules. Wild 1, draw 2 is a 3, which I need. Awesome. Okay. Which means I'm skipping wild 1, draw 2. So we go right on to wild 1, draw 3. Ho! I completed the phase. Well, I'll be. Okie dokie. Obviously using the next skip, which, okay. So, give me a minute. I have to redo my board again. Okay. So hopefully you can see all those cards. I now need a run of 8. I'm going for 10, 11, wait. I'm going for 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3 again. This 10 is extra. I have 4 1s, which are useless in this particular hand, and I am on wild 1. I have no idea what's happening, but let's dive back in. Wild 1, draw 4 is another 10. Don't need another 10. Blue on the cover. So for this, I'm going to read Smoke Mountain. This is the 3rd book in the Seekers series by Aaron Hunter, and in this book, we're following a journey undertaken by a polar bear, a black bear, and a grizzly bear. I'm currently in the middle of listening to book 2, so I should be ready to listen to book 3 for the month of August, and there is a lot of blue on that cover, so I'm going to count it. Okay, so I'm going to move this wild over here with its multiple skips. I have no idea what's going on, so that we can roll my die for my second wild, because this is a really, really weird month. Come on, 1. Let's try that again. 3. I'll take 3. Again, better than 6. Weird month. Very weird month. Okay. Wild 2, draw 1 is 10. I'm fine with that. Totally fine with that. As long as it's not more wild, I'm good. And the prompt is historical fiction. For this, I'm going to read Three Sisters by Heather Morris. This is the 3rd book in the Tattooists of Auschwitz series, where we're going to be following characters dealing with the horrors of Auschwitz during World War II. Very happy I pulled that out of my TBR jar now, aren't I? I did say it would come in handy if I happen to get that prompt. Wild 2, draw 2. Is a skip. I legitimately have no idea what I'm supposed to do with this. Hang on. This means that I get to skip another prompt. I don't understand what is happening this month. That means I skipped 3 prompts already that I don't have to pull for. I've completed 2 phases, which means I get 2 skips for that. And now I have a 3rd skip. This is an incredibly weird month. Wild 2, draw 2 is a red 10. Because I still have to draw something for it. And the red 10 gives me contemporary. So for this, I'm going to read Hurricane Season by Nicole Melby. This is one of my summer covers, but I'm pretty sure this is a contemporary. And I believe it's middle grade. And if you're new to my channel, summer covers is part of a series I do on my channel where each season I pick 5 books on my TBR whose covers remind me of the season we're going into. And in this case, it's summer. I'll link that video below if you'd like to check it out and want to see my reasoning as to why this and the other 4 books I picked gave me summer vibes. But I'm pretty sure this is a contemporary. And worst case scenario, I have 3 skips. And those I can use as swaps, so I should be just fine. So I'm going Hurricane Season. And for what is hopefully my final draw, Wild 2, draw 3. It's a red 12. I'll take it. Again, at this point, I'd have taken anything that wasn't a wild. And the prompt for red 12 is A to Z title. So I've got a random letter generator up here that hopefully you all can see, and whatever letter comes up, I will have to read a book that starts with that letter. Please be kind to me. J. Right. So this took me a while to find one that I had access to. I don't actually own any books that start with J, but the one I'm going with is Josephine Against the Sea by Shakira Bourne. Apologies if I butchered that. It says, meet Josephine, the most lovable mischief maker in Barbados, in a magical adventure inspired by Caribbean mythology. 11-year-old Josephine knows that no one is good enough for her daddy. That's why she makes a habit of scaring his new girlfriends away. She's desperate to make it onto her school's cricket team because she'll get to play her favorite sport and use the cricket matches to distract daddy from dating. But when Coach Brooms announces that girls can't try out for the team, the frustrated Josephine cuts into a powerful silk cotton tree and accidentally summons a bigger problem into her life. The next day, daddy brings home a new catch, a beautiful woman named Maurice. And unlike the other girlfriends, this one doesn't scare easily. Josephine knows there's something fishy about Maurice, but she never expected her to be a vengeful sea creature eager to take her place as her father's first love. Can Josephine convince her friends to help her and use her cricket skills to save daddy from Maurice's clutches before it's too late? I'm excited because it's got some sort of mythology theme, and I think the cover looks cool. I mean, you'll be seeing it on the screen, and hopefully I enjoy it, and it was the one I went with my J options, which were not that many, unsurprisingly. Okay, and after all that, I think we're done now. Very weird month of Phase 10 chooses my TBR. Going to be very curious to see what's in store for me with Ping Pongathon. because I, again, have heard that is a very crazy game. I will be trying to use as many of the books I mentioned in this video as possible because I do not want a 40 book TBR for August. But yeah, I'm going to wrap this up before it is a 7-hour video that I need to edit. All of my social media is linked in the description below if you'd like to come chat with me. If you've made it this far in the video, leave me emojis of things that are cold, chilly, cool, things like that, in the hopes that it'll maybe have an effect on the heat wave we're experiencing. I don't know. Can't hurt, right? Like this video and subscribe to my channel, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye!